Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if this is the first time you've been, welcome. Today's video I'm going to teach you how to make my magic angel wings. You can use this as an applique, as a little hanging decoration with a loop like so, and you can personalize it by adding your own embellishments whichever way you want to decorate it, or none at all. This is a great stash buster because it only uses about 10 grams of yarn, if that. It's super simple, and the reason I've called it the magic rings is because we make it in just one piece. So there's no sewing, there's no joining together, none of that business. It's so fast and easy, and they're a great craft fair product also because of this. Today I'm just going to be using up some of my yarn from my stash. As you can see, I've got a tiny little ball there, but that will make 2-3 pairs of wings out of that. And I'm going to be using a 3mm hook because I am choosing to use double knit yarn. Of course, you can use chunkier yarn to make bigger ones, or thinner yarn to make smaller ones. So I think we've got everything we need to get started. Just to second note that as with always with my patterns, I will be explaining them using US terms. I just find that easier and it's clearer to understand. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to start by making a magic ring. If you don't know how to make this, or you need a refresher, there is a playlist on my channel called Crochet Basics, and within there is a nice, easy, slow tutorial teaching you how to make a magic ring. Just to note, you need to make sure you leave yourself a nice long tail as well, because we will need that one at the end for finishing off. So once you've made your magic ring, we're going to single crochet 6 stitches into our magic ring. So that's 6 single crochets. 5 and 6. Then going to pull your ring close slightly, like so. Now we are going to make a chain of 1, and we're going to turn our work. So chain 1 and turn your work. Now round 2, we're going to be working into our stitches that we've just created, and we're going to make 6 increases. So start back into your final stitch of round 1, and you're going to work 2 single crochet into that first stitch there, and 2 into each and every stitch around until you end up with a total of 12 single crochets for the end of round 2. And that's our 12th stitch there. So you should have something that looks a little bit like this, like a bit of a semicircle. We're going to complete round 2 with a chain 1, and again turn our work. Then we are just going to put 1 single crochet into each of our stitches, so we're still going to have a stitch count of 12 at the end of round 3. So just 12 single crochets. And that is stitch number 12. And we're going to finish our round with a chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. Now on to round 4, we're going to work 3 increases. So in the next 3 stitches, we're going to work 1 increase. So 2 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Followed by 6 single crochets, so just 1 stitch into each of our single crochets there. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And we're going to complete this round with another 3 increases, so an increase into each of the next 3 stitches. So just to quickly recap that one, so round 4, we have started with an increase in the first 3 stitches, followed by 6 single crochet, and finishing off with 3 lots of increases in our final 3 stitches there. So you should have a stitch count of 18 by the end of round 4. Finish that round off with a chain 1 and a turn of your work. Then for round 5, we're just going to put 1 single crochet into each of our stitches. So our stitch count is going to remain 18. And that is stitch number 18. So by the end of round 5, you should have something that looks like this, sort of an elongated semicircle. I'm going to complete this one again with a chain 1 and a turn of our work. On to round 6. For round 6, we are going to work an increase into the first 3 stitches again, like we did previously. So 1, 2, 3, and that's our 3rd increase. And then we are going to just work 12 single crochet, so 1 single crochet into the next 12 stitches. (11) and 12. And we're going to complete this round in the final 3 stitches, working 1 increase into each stitch. So 2 single crochet into every stitch space. 1, 2, and 3. So by the end of round 6, you should have a stitch count of 24. We're going to finish that off with a chain of 1 and a turn of our work. Then we are just going to work 1 single crochet into each of our stitches. So we're just going to work 24 single crochet for round 7. (23) and 24. So we just finish off round 7 as always with a chain 1 and a turn of our work. Now round 8 is our final round, so these stitches will be a little bit more complicated on this side, but just follow along and you'll be fine. So we are now going to chain another 2, and then we are going to create a picot. For anyone that hasn't done a picot stitch, it's a chain of 3, and then we follow that with a slip stitch back into the first chain of that 3. So we've got our 2 here already, followed by 1, 2 and 3 for our picot, and then into that very first chain that we just made of our group of 3, we're going to slip stitch into that space there, and that will create a little point. Then we are going to, in the first stitch space here, we're going to work 2 double crochets. So that's 1, and 2. Okay, so it should work a little bit like this. So you're having a bit of a point at the end there. Then we are going to work 2 half double crochets into the next stitch space. So it's 1 and 2, both in that same stitch space there, into the next one along, followed by 20 single crochets. So 1 single crochet into the next 20 stitches. There we are. So we've finished our 20 single crochet and we have 2 stitch spaces remaining at the end there. So in our final 2 stitch spaces, we are going to, in our next one, work 2 half double crochets. So basically we're mirroring what we've done on the previous side. So 2 half double crochets into that stitch space there, followed by 2 double crochets into that final stitch space. 1 and 2. There we go. So now it should be looking a little bit like this, and we're just going to complete that with a final picot. So a chain of 3, 2 and 3, slip stitch back into that first chain created. Then we are going to turn our work, so turn the work so that the point is now facing that direction, and we are just going to slip stitch into our previous DK, our previous double crochet, so just into this one here. To neaten off our point. You can also, if you feel the need, slip stitch into the next one, but I think that would be okay because that's where we will weave in our tail there. Okay, so that is our finished piece, and at the moment I'm sure you are saying, oh my god, that it does not look like an angel wing. However, here is the magic bit. So if we finish off, take our piece of yarn to finish this off, pull that stitch up there through, because we do need to weave those ends in shortly, and once you weaved in your ends you will see that you'll have your shape there. Now at the beginning, really, I mean, you could do a really long strand of yarn, but I personally just add an extra piece on as well so that we've got something to tie our end onto, so then there's no way of it coming through. So now all we need to do is take our piece like this, and you simply pinch in the middle. If you cinch the middle together, you will now see that you have magically created your angel wings. So what we need to do to finish off is take a really nice long strand of yarn, and if you want to tie those two together, your starting yarn tail and your new yarn, just to secure everything in place. Just a quick little double knot. Just to stop that first starting tail coming undone. As I said, you could always just leave a super long starting tail instead, if you would rather. Just cut those a little bit shorter, and then we are just going to pinch our piece together in the middle like so, and then just wrap our yarn. Try and get it so that it, a bit like hair bows where you pinch the middle, and then just wrap our yarn tightly around like so. You could obviously use twine as well, you don't have to use yarn. I just like to, because then it works in with the colour that we've crocheted. And then if you take one of your little tails that you've got from the beginning join, or even both of them, there you go, they're both there. Take those 2 tails where you joined your starting tail and this one together, bring it round to the back of your work, and then just tie them together in a knot to secure. At the back, just make sure it's nice and tight in the middle, and again tying them together. The assembly of this almost takes longer than the actual making. Right, so then you would just snip those ends off, and then of course it's up to you. You can weave them in, you can pop a dab of hot glue on the back, whatever you like to conceal that there. So there you have your little pair of really super duper simple angel wings. And then with that one there, I would just weave in your end up there. If you pull that up through your final stitches, that will smooth out that tip of your angel wings there. and then you can add embellishments or leave them bare if you prefer. But I like to add these little bows that you get, the little craft bows, the little mini ones. I like to just add one of those in the middle there like that, and I think they look lovely with a little hanging loop, and they're an ideal Christmas tree decoration. So there we go, there's your little magic angel wings complete. This is a great stash buster, and it's ideal as well for craft fairs or small sentimental gifts, anything really. So there we have your little pair of magic angel wings. Super duper easy and super great stash buster make. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do pop a like down below, or a comment would be even better. This helps get my video seen by other people. It helps to enable me to keep creating free content. And of course, if you haven't done already, please hit the subscribe. See you again. Thanks.